down. Still no train, Sag. It's been a thing that I've been seeing in CCT North America, and here in ECL for North America, it's no different. We are train haters because we were Vertigo haters. That is the world we live in. But Ancient is where we will be heading in. Actually, just gonna jump right into this whole thing. Yeah, I have a hard time seeing how this is going to be different. For a couple of reasons. First and foremost, Peeping was so incredible on Dust 2. He was our player to watch, and for good reason. But even beyond that, this is a map that Cryptic just feels really comfortable calling on. I think that you add to that where, you know, this was already a good map for Nouns, and CJ, Junior, and Rush were on that core. Were that core of the team that was good for Nouns. Like, you're just adding a lot of like very good players on this map to a core that's already good.
It was one that, even at Fragadelphia 18, I was right behind, and it's very funny, this is coming to Nouns, versus this team, IGL by Cryptic now. They were playing Nouns at Fragadelphia 18 under Boss, where they went down an 11-4, rather, a 9-3 in that first half, and Cryptic's mood did not change at all, Vincent. I've been hearing a lot of things about Cryptic, and I've watched him in a couple of lands. That was the first time I get to stand right behind him and see the poise. A very strong call, and the poise on this walk, the patience you can see, but now the patience by Peeping as he tries to just batter away on ahead here. Can't exactly put it to the green yet, but I think the Iron Club will. They're going to be able to get this bomb down and set up a post plant at the minimum.
Huge positioning as well for Ultra Iron Club. They're doubled up in Donut. They've got control at a bit of a bait setup too in Temple. Wow. Oh, that's incredible out of Junior, though. That'll really hurt. Talon now in a bit of a dicey proposition here. He's going to be tested as the waters are found to have sharks manifested in the form of Misha. Talon continues to play Ring Around the Rosie as Arias gets a bunch. Oh my goodness, that is incredible. Nouns give them so much space, and Ultra Iron take advantage.
Talk about shark-infested waters. Arias has got the jaws. That's 3 out of him after a map where this is a guy you look to see sort of stay consistent and have his part routinely within this squad. Just a bit of a jolt of electricity into the beginning of his unit in tandem with Misha to get this going here on Ancient. A T-sided pistol round will mean so much to him. Don't exactly see that classic Nouns buy back when they had that cushion all the way on Dust 2. They'll go ahead and just wait this one out.
Yeah, keep it simple. I mean, I feel like they have a lot to be confident about, though that is certainly unfortunate, and that's not going to change. The bomb is indeed dropped, and hold on, Cryptic not going to be ready for this fight, though. He's still reloading, not realizing what they have and how quickly that they can return into position. Ultra Iron Club starting to ensure that this doesn't go awry in its entirety. A breath of relief, or maybe not. Bomb recollected, but the HP for Flow is so low.
This needs to be around. They have no issues with. It was that buyback they lose on Dust 2. Sure, you're dealing with Peeping and in a Noun squad that's in great form here off of these USPs. It would be a hell of a wound to rip the Band-Aid off of so quickly with Junior to sort of lead the pack between two as CJ. Just the hook on the back of that bait. Molotov on the other side. And Arias just on this ramp is gonna get decapitated. Flow, low HP, and Junior up in the 1v1. Can the op IGL just reign supreme? Low in the corner, Junior to be cleared, and he pops out. Right timing. The Iron Club looking that solid with 2 in a row at the start of this Ancient.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about solid exactly. That round goes so very, very nicely at the end, but it is very scary to start things off. Just the bomb being caught out in such a dicey location is devastating. And Nouns, I mean, they full eco. They had USPs, Mark. That was all they invested, and they still got 4 kills. That's terrifying. And now, Nouns have an op to work with. Junior already on the big green in round 3. That's just not something that will happen unless you get some of those SMGs recovered and get a couple kills.
Continuing on in the middle, They're going quickly and continuing to ride that hot hand. CJ deleted by that nade. Junior close on that flick. He's got that first rifler out, but point blank can't get Misha, and they continue to just send this boulder down the hill, speeding past, maybe hitting the brakes a moment onto A, because they're actually starting to walk in this. But look who's on right on the cusp. It's Peeping on one side, it's Rush on the other, and Peeping as an individual, well, he's got this on lock, just in where to have to reload the AWP, show it a sign of mercy, but now it's time for Misha to clutch.
Yeah, and we've seen him do it before. Has isolation, knows exactly where Peeping and Rush are located, but Peeping, incredible. The way that he just climbs back into these rounds. It's that position that I was referring to him playing, you know, before in previous iterations of other teams, but it's him in the retake making his way through Temple, where he picks up a 3K, just defending the site that was already taken, such that they never even get that bomb down. That's devastating for Ultra Iron.
With loose change, being able to grab up a couple of these MAC-10s, the Galil that is in this hot hand, quite literally running through the Molotov, and down to 36 at the start of that. But CJ, he may be getting it from both ends here. Shot in the back of that skull, and that is by the hand of Misha again. Clipsera to send this forward into house, definitely above his pay grade at this sort. Checking into Rush's AK, but just right around that corner. How do they play with the contact that could potentially come from Flo? Just seeing his shin around the corner. It's Clipsera that decides to go crazy, and it could be a triple for Rush, but Cryptic, he's just screwed the cap on it. Nouns are at a tied game in a flash of a pan. Yeah, that's another bit of re-clear and map control that Nouns are very much known for, that they have done very well. That's an impressive way to show it off. They lose that space at mid, but it's ultimately an even stead, 3-on-3, and Rush and Cryptic are just immediately, that's the entire B hold, but they're re-clearing mid together, giving up B temporarily in order to reclaim space and ensure that that Ultra Iron don't get a free avenue up through middle. Immediately with that disturbance, CJ on one side, Peeping on the other, and they're teased. Look at how much nade damage comes before, but it's Peeping on this angle, and he is strangling out every sense of motivation on these Glock rounds to continue it forward. Going through the motions are Nouns to just send right back where the Alternate Iron Club came from, I guess, to the gym, right? That's what they're actually sponsored by, is a fitness brand out of Milwaukee. Shout out Arctos, but I don't know. Get back to that weight room. At least it's looking like it.
Yeah, I mean, a grand start that ends without too much of a problem on the Nouns side. We'll see the full invest. See what Flo's cooked up onto this gun round. Been very heavy towards mid, but so have Nouns, and this is, you know, in the past been their bread and butter. Is trying to get active early. It was under Carson, though. They take that space, and then they've given it up. Full rotation, back to B for Nouns. They're just going to leave CJ in Donut to hold space.
Cryptic, he hears that rustling right past his cave spot. Gonna get that spam in as they check in. He's actually gotten that one better than the Iron Club. Now they have to continue on forward with this. Don't go back and try and make up the homework you already missed. Go ahead and turn in that next assignment that is going to be towards Peeping towards rather Rush, as he is just going to be shoving fellow IGL Flo out of the round, standing strong in a 5v2. I don't think Nouns are going to let them have a hint in, and Peeping confirms that. A 1v5 for Talon now.
No, unlikely when you consider the amount of time, 50 seconds, and the bodies on the other side. Got to recover the bomb, though. That's, you know, recoverable, I guess, to be fair. But this is a bait setup as well that's going to be difficult to break open. If Cryptic doesn't get it, then it will be Rush. It's Cryptic in the end. But unrelenting are Nouns. Cryptic gets that kill, tracks it through smoke in cave side through Jaguar, and he immediately just sprints out of cave, gets back with Rush, and walk clears down the ramp at B. Nouns never stopping, their motion is constant, and they always seem to be getting the better of them in these situations.
It's nothing too crazy that's been thrown at them. A couple of blanches of these half-buys kind of ducking down to at least 3 times in a row here. It's not as strong, but they actually do waltz in with a little bit of Kevlar around these Tech 9s, but previously faced off towards mid. A different spar attempt that's going to come out. Rush, he just knows what's on the other side, and he is ready to farm him up here. Has to spin around this angle. Knows there's a bomb planter somewhere, and has to whip out the sidearm. This is Cryptic Sight, and you're not getting through it. He's got 4 on it, hunting for the ace, but he's not going to get them all. Nouns, they've got 5 on top of it, and Cryptic, he's holding this thing down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, Vinny.
Yeah, I mean, Rush plays the distraction in so many ways for Cryptic to just farm frags. A crossfire that's difficult to break at the best of times with limited utility, and the attempt there just to get the bomb down. Ultra Iron Club just don't have what it takes to break that open. They'll get a couple of kills, and that bomb plant, crucially, is the biggest of deals. It gives Flo an AWP to work with in this round. It's been difficult for him to have ops available thus far on Ancient. Not always somewhere that you're going to have an op every time, but when things are going wrong, it's a great change of pace.
Trying to duck right out of that opening smoke there through middle. Nothing going to be rushing towards that cubby anyway. You want to know who that player is? You want to know where he is? Where he's right on your tail. Pushed here all the way through A main, confirming that there's nothing kind of sticking its nose over towards this region to start. The bomb and the posture starting to see the way towards that B site by the Iron Club.
I think it's got to be a more of a late mid setup, surely. Also Iron Club that, or they're just committing B. Gonna let Misha in these more lurk heavy rolls hang out towards elbow. But a refresh on the smoke in about a minute in front of ramp. We'll create some additional pressure. We'll stall Ultra Iron Club out just a little bit. They haven't taken cave space yet either. So I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. We might just see them contact out, or nope, here's the execute. It's long and short.
They've even got peeping with them too, but not anymore. Gone on that original fight. That's not even through Flow, right? Talent, back-to-back entries though, and now coming up on the cave on the cusp. Cryptic, he's held this down, and now he just gets rid of the planter. Good thing Ares has got that kill back, but now we'll see if he continues it through the smoke. Rice just chills right before it. The Op IGL gets that bomb down, and CJ, he's going to be on the flank.
Oh, the Flow looking to read into this. Oh, but CJ, he's on target with that instant smackdown. There's nothing more to be said. Smoked off now as Arias, or rather Molotov'd away. It allows him to get the fight. CJ falls, but time starting to tick away. So Junior's going to put his eyes on the bomb, puts up the pistol instead for the final frag of that round. It's Junior in the 1v1.
And he's been in one of those a time or two. A very nice start to this Ancient for Arias here, but unfortunately just too little too late on a play like that. Big kill onto Cryptic, but you're going to need to just try and duck them in. It was quite a shot that CJ did hit on that transition, and it's going to be really hard to hit rounds like that when you're getting your head blown off peeking in with the AWP. But Flo has a lot of pressure on him here, trying to call on a map that requires a lot of micromanagement. That's why they go for a little bit of a cleaner starter slate there to just execute right off the back, but now up to a more regulated round up into Cryptic's crosshair. He's actually got that up from the top of Cat, and Talon, he's got the opening kill again for the Iron Club.
He does. I mean, it's Talon in these more aggressive entry-style roles that has kind of found a new position to really thrive in more recently. And you see that there. He's done it again. That's Rush cleared out. As Talon gets 2, but both of those kills on towards B are not going to be where they immediately go towards. CJ creeping back through and finding a double. Holding him off. Got a check for Cryptic. It's not the prettiest, but Misha will get it done. Leaves Junior in another clutch.
Got to set forward again. Misha going to be punching in these digits of the A site, ready to go. Junior to go ahead and check in from a position that's even nicknamed after an op or so. +1 luck for that as he sneaks through Brokey, clearing out these close spots. But as his time ticks down, so do the possibilities for the Iron Club. Misha right on top, but as that timing does look to sway So does the Crosshair and Junior. He has just tucked that first player away. Has he written off the donut position? The answer is no. And Talon, the member that opened it, is the man that is finished at the end of the round. It's Junior, gets his 10th frag and the 7th on the board for Nouns as they continue to roll on.
Can we talk about how absurd that is from Junior? Able to creep out and get so much space to work with, and a little bit separated from Ultra Iron Club, to be fair. I think maybe the safest play, but the least information-heavy play, too, is just doubling up into Donut and trying to play off of any sort of contact. They don't know where Junior's located, but they know he's coming from B. All of that to say, though, that Junior has one opportunity, one shot that he's got to hit in order to win that clutch, and he hits it the first try on Talon, trying to swing the timing. That's so frustrating because Ultra Iron Club close in so many rounds, but never able to find the victory in those deep scenarios.
Looking for another contact here, just right into the site, considering the barrels that are currently at this contest. Rush ducking in between, knowing Junior is in the ring as well. The Iron Club smartly back away from those engagements versus the heavyweights, but right now it's looking like they're about to walk into another ring. It's Cryptic to Sing and almost go for 2. Rice on the other side, alive at 8 HP, and he's an important body as well, but now he has been dethroned. CJ to King, what a time to swing on in with the crown on his head, but it's taken off by Misha, but it didn't last for very long. An 8th for Nouns.
Let's talk about this once again, the way Nouns are so mobile. They always want to be taking these fights. It's immediate. When Rush is taking that duel, then Junior gets the opening pick at B ramp. Then Rush smokes it off, says, okay, we've already got that space, and the obvious maneuver for the T's is to try to claim space elsewhere. You know, for example, Jaguar, or at least take some area towards that spot in the map, and that's where they double up. Cryptic does damage onto a second after getting his first, and it's perfect setup for Rush to grab that next frag. It's just Nouns preemptively looking for these positions that they know Ultra Iron Club are likely going to be in and taking that before Ultra Iron even make their move.
Again, looking like a round that is going to be definitely organized, spread to exchange here, sort of on these half-buys that have plagued the rest of this after a 2-0 start. Haven't stopped speeding off the block ever since Nouns got off of it, but maybe a Misha, maybe a Clip Zero Hero AK could get going. Clip Zero, actually a former ESL Impact coach himself, we found that out today, was for that Saints team a while ago, attended 2023's Impact Cato event that happened out there, now is back with this squad in a playing role.
From all over, it seems, this Ultra Iron Club put together.
Maybe even somebody else from the other FPS. We'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah, we haven't touched on it just yet.
Don't say it.
Yeah, I think that's illegal. I don't think you're allowed.
Especially on the Challenger League broadcast. No,
yeah,
sir.
That wouldn't be cool. The other child game is what we're referring to. Flo was plying his trade over there before making the move. To be fair, just about a year ago, kind of with the start of CS2, made the move back, and bro was plucked straight out of main last season, in the middle of the season, for this Ultra Iron team to replace Liam. Roles fit perfectly, you know, op in game leading. That's what Liam was doing, and Flo's looked so good ever since.
Oh no. Right into the hands of Peeping, but he does let go after the first. It's actually Flo, the man we just brought up to be on the back of that casket, but now sharing a casket. We all three that joined the basket out of Rush's barrel. This B site is not one to tangle with, Vincent. It's absolutely crazy, but yeah, it's really cool, right? This man was active within that Valorant scene in 2021, 2022, kind of bolstered off of competing, but he was playing for Team Omega, which is an organization that has had some teams in advanced main and so forth, so it's pretty interesting. It was kind of a comfortability seeing that logo pop off, but it was very interesting. He was playing with the Boiler Boys there in Season 50 before he was plucked out, and when they did make that change, they were 3-5 and were 4-2 in the regular season, the Ultra Iron Club, after the change for Liam, or Lamb Choppington III, he's also known as.
I was wondering how long it would
be
take.
A disservice.
Yeah. Well-known buddy of Get the Bag Mark as well. Oh, rush caught. Arias gets the one. There's talent on the entry pathing and a lot of damage done. But Peeping will stand tall. Oh, that Molotov not quite spreading far enough to deny him, but he won't move too far forward. What a confident angle out of Talon. He'll get that done, and it's 2-on-5 for Nouns to try and close this half.
CJ gets one while blind, and now it's up for Junior. Guess who in another clutch? Nade gonna get a kill. Just chipped off it. It's clip 0 to go. What's that next step? Using that belt of utility generously, but he's clipped just closely by Arias as it's another 9-3 half off this split as we go into it. We'll see you guys back here on the other side of Ancient after a 3-minute break. Coming between the Iron Club and Nouns Esports still here on Ancient. And will we be following the step notes of Dust 2? Was Alter Iron reaching in aggressively in that second half for that pistol round? Vincent, are we seeing similar strays right now as the A-hit is prepared?
It's kind of feeling that way. I am getting a little deja vu. Though Peeping not at like 15 kills is maybe a little bit different. Nouns are teeing it up, as you mentioned. They're going to look towards... I love that iteration of the donut smoke, by the way. I love how much space you get to kind of like pop through it if you want to. It's just a cool way to approach it. And now they're going to take that control. As soon as they lose space elsewhere in the form of Misha finding Cryptic, now they'll just turtle up together, 3 strong in donut.
Just one at the big box. It's Junior. He's been let loose, but now this is going to be an absolutely tough setup to break. Oh, it's 2 even through that first shake of the smoke. Talon got to stand confidently as now you're shooting and painting him like a Looney Tunes character through that smoke. Flo has gotten away with it in the 4th round. It's floated the way of Alter Iron's club, even if Rush is painted with red.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that looked like a Wile E. Coyote sketch for a moment. Like, he actually had painted the entirety of that mural on the side of the mountain, and unfortunately ran straight into it. Alter Iron Club faking him out, getting the defuse inside of that smoke. It's a huge boon. As we talked about before, I mean, pistol round has so much value here, but here's the key. You can't lose the follow-up. That cannot continue to happen. It's a problem that Alter Iron Club have consistently been having. And I think that now a tactical timeout for Nouns into this second round of the half, it's a little bit scary.
Definitely can feel that way. It looks like we are back into the freeze time. I heard a lot of clicking around. Okay, that's what I thought. Into a little bit of a tech pause, here briefly before we see the fluidity of Alter Iron Club get up on the board with, oh no, Misha returned the 5th MP9. What a party pooper! All right, the 4 MP9 back.
Hey, while we have a second though, I kind of put out what maybe some would think is a bold prediction, and I said that Nouns, I think,
yes, that
would
is true.
be a better team than the old iteration of Nouns in by the end of the season. So about 2 to 3 months, is what I'm saying, and the reason I think that is that Cryptic, he was able to do not only what Nouns were able to, but even more so with no resources for the entirety of last year on Boss.
Yeah.
And, that's making both America's RMRs. He made Pro League in season 19 rather. And honestly, could have been even closer to that in the next season if it weren't for the fact that, a lot of roster difficulty and, frustration happening. Kind of his roster got picked apart. But, the fact that he was able to do that as a leader just gives me so much faith in this guy alone. And that's not to mention the fact that they've got Rush, that they've got Junior, that they've got Peeping and this young, incredible talent. Like, you add all those other things into this equation, and it just feels like to me that Nouns are set up for success.
I mean, I really will. I would love to come in and disagree with you, right? But it's going to be so fun to see Cryptic, a guy that it's even funny, right? Hopping back to that original storyline with Peeping coming off of Fluffy Aimers and then subbing in for Timberman Badass Gaming at Chicago 23. He actually beats Boss in the final, right, against Cryptic. I'm sure they've had many meets online, right, where they would probably clash and maybe see whichever on that other side. And I bet Cryptic is gone in his mind, maybe not out loud. God, it would be so great to play with a player like Peeping, who's so young and so talented like that. They get to meet up on a roster just like this, which is even better. I mean, the Alter Iron Club guys, if I'm going to keep waxing poetic about these Fragadelphia Grand Finals, they got to know Peeping pretty good back at Fragadelphia, Kansas City. Not Fragadelphia 18, but we had a bit of an outing there in June where I got to see what was the first half of sort of this Headshot Kings, quote, roster form. Rather, the less end of Talon's side. It was Misha, and you saw Lamb Choppington playing with Hate, Classia, and, oh goodness, it's going to be escaping me right now. Hate, Classia, and Locke. Excuse me, they're all playing under Locke's Kittens. They lost to Elevate. Great name. They lost to Elevate in that grand final against Peeping, having a really great performance. Him and Classia were pulling out the stops. It really was a great one to go back and take a look at the demo. I think that's still up on the Frag YouTube somewhere. It was absolutely ridiculous, but, I mean, that's what he spent this last year doing. Just going in and grinding a lot of these LAN tournaments out, even when having the chance to hop over and have this opportunity on Nouns, right? Just saw him at Fragadelphia 18, and he was loving the new digs.
I mean, how could you not? What a crazy upgrade, like, in general for a guy like Peeping. Moves from, I mean, I think it's fair to say entirely unknown. as somebody who kicks it around in this North American space a lot, you tend to hear some conversation, and especially if it's, a rise with some time to it, if it takes even just a couple of seasons, you kind of get you get the picture, you get that build. But for Peeping, it kind of felt like he got pulled in out of slightly out of nowhere, showed up in a big way, and then continued to find success, constantly. Even despite, I was mentioning before where I don't think he was necessarily in position to succeed all that many times. So it's an incredible story, to be sure, and one where you have to just like applaud the fact that he's been able to kind of put that together. Not to mention the fact that what an incredible opportunity to get to play with a guy like Rush.
Totally.
I mean, I can't imagine
it coached by Adren, right?
That too, yeah. I mean, I mean, just speaking from like my own experience, I grew up watching this guy, having such an awesome experience getting to watch him, and then getting the opportunity to then learn under him, as well. Years and years later, got to be crazy, situation for him to jump into, and the fact that he's been able to kind of shine is pretty cool.
I mean, for all the reasons you've just said, I mean, even at 19 years old, right? I think that, friend of the show, friend of ours, one Tony Why Not. I remember, we were waxing poetic about, some superstars of the past, and even, those that have left us for other titles. Again, talking about the other FPS, right? It was Ethan that was around that age range, right? 18, 19, popping onto radars with EG and stuff like that. That happened obviously much earlier than that, but it's nice seeing a lot of these guys pop out with some of these age groups that are really great and going to be obviously taken advantage of getting forward. It's very, very hard to I don't think anybody takes it too seriously, but I think it's interesting to kind of, live and breathe in an environment where the top dogs are a 17 and 18-year-old and Monacy and Donk. Right? I mean, that is a interesting place for our sport to be at. However, when you stare down the barrel, it should just be more motivation, because you guys have Jax, reaching up at all ages sort of in this server. You got Talon still going at it at 28, making ECL for the first time. Guys, never give up if you are watching this and are on a grind similarly to that. There's a member on both of these teams that have worn so many jerseys, right? Talon and Cryptic finally getting their way there. Cryptic with a little bit more solace, but Talon up here to this division for the first time. But we're back into the game, Vincent, and already back to the action. Peeping, trying to go right around these mollies into Misha, who just decapitates him. But now the Iron Club looking to have some teeth in front of this buy.
That they do. A phenomenal setup out in mid. Good work off of one another. Actually timed beautifully. Misha stuck into that corner in elbow, just trying to dodge under the flashes. He does so off the teammate's contact. It's a jump in there as Junior's AK will get a chance at this. Hold on a second. Deagle comes out. Ooh, denied by Talon. Will be the end of the line for...
Down. You ever see the one-shot BM?
When you're trying to BM, but there's not enough bullets.
Lets him know. It just comes in delayed. The 5th round, though, right on time for Alter Iron Club. As during our bit of Mark and Vincent podcast, right? In the meanwhile, it was that force that was sort of allotted there by Nouns, which, that was the decision, and the second round surpassed there by Alter Iron Club. So finally, the batch of ingredients that they have needed in order to actually just get this pan on the stove to start cooking in one of these maps.
Yeah, I mean, they had, to be honest, they had the pan out already a couple of times. They just couldn't quite get there. Nouns continue, though, with this buy. This is Nouns feeling confident, and at the moment, it's not paying off, right? They've gotten away with this twice over in this in these 2 best of ones before, but a third time, too much. They'll try for a 4th.
It's Peeping, that first name that was ripped out of that thing. And that was very early on with Misha on the fadeaway in middle. Back in Cryptic's wheelhouse here is Rush. In the MAC-10, these forces up. The IGL comes back down with the belt to be let go. With the B site on the mine on the menu next. This is a bottleneck spot Look at how this setup will be taught. The MP9 goes with first. Not ready for that second player, but Junior, so crisp, fries him with one headshot, lines up a second entry on it, and right now, this gallop down the path towards B is clear for the lane.
What an incredible Molotov that was, catching the long guy in the cubby. That's nice to see, and the swift trading. Those are first bullet required situations out of Junior. The talent on the smoke fade gets his. Junior still stuck in the cave side. He's gonna have to deal with two avenues of aggression. Flow comes from the other position. Junior checking and looking. Now it's a crossfire. Talon breaks it apart, but at 8 health, it's not enough to weather the storm, and the double force spy, reinvest after reinvest from Nouns, finally pays off.
And you know the notice. You see the difference of the body language. The 1v1. This time, it is victorious from the side that is draped in blue. Junior gets that right over Talon's head. And instead of sending lead to the floor where the body lies, he just gets out in disguise and bunny hops on. That's the confident that Nouns know they are walking with here, as 10 rounds is going to be on the board of Ancient.
Junior showing it up with the AWP in the last half. Bro's doing it with the rifle in this half. That's, I think, a criticism that you can probably level over at Junior, generally speaking, but that's not been the case whatsoever today. And CJ,
goodness.
I mean, you mentioned it before. He's kind of here because there's no other option with the roster rules and such, but he is putting on a show, saying to anyone else who might be watching, hey, I'm a talent still. I'm a guy out here who can do this. Just ring me up.
Come get him. Pick back in the middle. The last look into it, it's peeping to grab their 10th. CJ clears out that B site and tells Iron Club to put it in the bag. They did just that, but now they are going to be reaching for their savings. This buy a big one here in round 17 for the Alter Iron Club to actually have a snap back at this. When the 12 looms around, if the other side of this coin is a loss, it's going to be 12, and that's going to be one hell of a situation to get out of the sauce here of Ancient.
How's it looking? Straight through into mid, and once again, Alter Iron Club's mid presence and hold has actually been super solid. That's going to be an unfortunate Molotov. Misha will get the smoke off to extinguish eventually, but in the meantime, CJ gets one, and then the HE to follow it up. Inside of that smoke, Misha stands no more.
Rush does fade away off of the nade smoke. Doesn't see anything poking out with it. But CJ just decimates this middle protocol. Misha doesn't survive in the fire, and the flames didn't let him be free. Right here on this cusp at Cheetah, it is the claws of Junior to bring back the advantage to Nouns, but a 2v2 momentarily as Clip Zara swings. Now here, CJ goes back to where he started this party in a 1v2. He's got to be able to decide where he is going to make his wheelhouse in this situation. Vincent, we can see from our bird's eye view, there's nobody over towards A, yet he splits this thing down the middle.
Bro never left mid. I mean, he was hanging out outside of elbow the whole entire time, and he had no one at A the whole time as well. Obviously, not confirmation on that fact. Alter Iron Club gonna start to get suspicious about this whole thing, and CJ's taking his sweet time about it too. I think it's going to be a timing situation. No, actually, Alter Iron readjusts. They're gonna head through Donut instead, and as they should get the confirmation once this bomb goes down.
12 seconds, got to make a bold decision, close enough to where the audio cue is given. A individual fight giving over by Flo, trying to stand on top of his toe, and they just go together, and they just sever all the hopes away from CJ King to have that one here at the end of this Ancient. But to move along, this is 11 on that Noun side now.
I think you really got to credit a lot of these winning rounds here for Alter Iron CT side. You know, the ones that they've picked up. Tons of credit to Misha in mid. Absolutely huge impact that he's been able to put together there. And Talon usually as well in that same position in the more supportive role. But in this case, not as much him individually. I think that that's got to be something that Nouns are starting to target here moving forward. Or alternatively, can just kind of let it be, stand where it lies, let, go to the more late round approach to mid that Ultra Iron were taking on their own T side. Regardless, it's got to be a problem that they're going to target soon.
Or they do sort of stay on the same foot. They put Misha elsewhere. He's a bit more of his natural rotator spot. Rush upon this middle clear on the default by Nouns. Nothing out of the ordinary here as they roll through the motions, but they do get the standard joust towards the top of B, and they look to see where the next slice comes from.
Yeah, Junior poised in perfect position, and Cryptic playing a little bit of a back and forth spam battle that he really doesn't get the better of, actually. He's tagged quite low, 50 HP. Instead, we'll get a smoke recycled at the front of Jag. This has always been B. It's pretty much the whole time that's where Nouns want to be at. Junior creeping into a more elevated position. Once he gets a bit of a shot off, that's when this actual attack will go. Though if he waits long enough, they might just creep up behind this op too.
And even that gap, he's looking for Clipsera in this, and once Junior realizes he is just going to be deleting him, and he waves the wand, and there is 3 that have gone poof. That is the B site that is on, and that's the truth out of Junior. He has never told a lie, and that is what is going to be deserving of a 12th round out here as Nouns. They are bold in their statement said.
I mean, it seems like Nouns feel as if they don't need to break out the strat book. They know that if they just get themselves into good positions, mistakes will be made by Ultra Iron Club, and they can take advantage. And it's for that reason. I mean, we just saw just 2 incredible flicks out of Junior. The first shot, a little bit of an automatic one, but the second is stunningly quick. And the attempt to save going to be more difficult as time goes on, because Peeping is on the hunt. Spotted is Flow. And that's the big gun that's gone. Talon will just hold an MP9. Pretty as that is with the glove combo, I don't think he's going to be so happy about the MP9 instead of an AK.
Yeah, told to hold on to that souvenir of the bloody battle that did come to pass. Exactly draped out into it. You know, we were looking at Misha before to become the 5th of this MP9 pack, and he certainly is now. But is this what is going to find Ultra Iron and their path, their avenue back to this game? Well, Ancient may just be too bled out of this, but never stop until that clock is completely out of it.
Fair enough. Can't be out of the game when the game ain't over. It's a losing mentality. That's not what Ultra Iron Club have. From a team that wasn't even meant to be in advanced playoffs to second place to in ECL. That's where they've been over the last couple of months. So down 12-6. That's not the worst. Not by a large margin.
He'll be just fine, I think.
That's right.
But we were talking about it before this map 2 started. With Peeping about to take this fight, maybe it will depart that point for a moment as from that corner, it's going to be Flo that departs from that decision, actually right in to the aggressive play, but nobody actually seeing out the way with that kill. Flo, he has gotten into a new spot, but there's just something about this, and Peeping sees something is up, just playing with his food on the other side. Molly to get him out here, but CJ pushing this one forward. He's got Talon in the back lines. But what I was going to say, your welcome to ECL moment is versus NRG, it's versus Boss, and then it's versus Nouns, your 3 starters. Welcome to the NFL. You're here with the pros now.
That they are, and might be about to pull one over on said pros, because this is a round that's gotten very dicey. Rush is 2 HP. That flash could have done the damage. He'll just get the 1, but it's Cryptic from the big box. And the big man ready to frag. Low HP on the Misha, who's coming from CT. Arias is the first to face, but he's not looking the right direction. It's free for Cryptic, and a 1v3 might just be how we end, and it is for Nouns, 13-6, as they back-to-back take this Ultra Iron Club to town on Ancient and Dust 2.
Beautiful clutch that comes out there at the end, knowing that he is loving these Noun digs. His veins are the same